A 1, 2, 3.
Gonna walk that promenade, yeah, we're gonna rock that promenade, be the talk of that promenade, looking for a star drifter, not a shapeshifter, lots to do and more to see, sweet sticks from a jump to tree, oh, oddities, opportunities, free advice, but not for cheapo gambling wheels, shaded deals, meet me back here tomorrow, please. Walk that promenade. Yeah, we're gonna rock that promenade.
Hello and good evening for this Monday, April 8th, 2024. Star Trek DS9, Season 7, Episode 20. The Changing Face of Evil is over, and it has been since 1999. But we're just getting started here in 2024. 25 years later, here on Live Long and Podcast, a live stream here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, as we continue our ongoing mission to watch every episode of Star Trek DS9 and talk about it, review it. We'll be talking about this for the next hour, and then putting a rating to this episode. We only have 6 left, and we got a great panel here once again to talk all about this episode here on Eclipse Day here in the Path of Totality. We got the inimitable Kevin Millard.
Hello, Dave.
Hello and good evening, Kevin. And we have the ever pleasant Adam Woodward.
Hey, how are you guys? It was a good day.
It was a good day.
It was a good day.
It was a good day, but maybe less so for the characters in this episode that we're talking about here tonight. Spoilers ahoy, but it's 25 years old, this episode. So, but Adam just saw it for the first time. So who knows? We're going to be talking here all about it. But the Changing Face of Evil, what happens in this episode, guys? The Defiant is destroyed. RIP, the USS Defiant. Nearly made it to the finish line. Nearly made it to the end of the series, but not quite. What else? The Ranjin, right? The Kaiwin killed him. She opened up the Pa Wraith book. The fire demons are coming out. It's the rapture is upon us. So watch out for that. Oh, and by the way, Earth was attacked by the Breen, the new best friends here of the Dominion, and we see San Francisco in flames. The Golden Gate Bridge destroyed. Adam, how was this episode here for you?
Okay, fantastic. Kevin, I do not get the thing that action doesn't make a good episode, because that was awesome. I love that episode. I'm really happy to be here talking with this attitude that I have tonight, because we went from Star Trek Radio Theater last night, and then I went to watch that. I went to bed happy. It was good.
Well, that's great. And speaking of, yes, we did do a Star Trek Radio Theater last night. We did Conundrum from the Star Trek The Next Generation. Question here from Ensign Norman saying, Conundrum was hilarious, guys. Did Kevin rehearse the lot with that candle?
More than you care to know.
But I think that was an improv in the moment. But maybe it was Davan threw that out there with the candle.
It was Davan. It wasn't me.
Yeah, and then you just.
I was still trying to figure out a way to bring in Ronan when he said it. So.
Yeah, exactly. And of course we have Sam here. He got his black belt in Taekwondo here on.
Hey, way to go, Sam!
Congratulations, Sam.
Yeah. If you want to get promoted to Ensign, Sam, you're gonna have to sign up for the Patreon. Look at us. Look over us on. Support us on Patreon. No, Lieutenant Junior Grade. You can go all the way up to Commander, I believe, if you'd like. But yes. Okay, but back to the episode, guys. Kevin, how was this one for you? The Changing Face of Evil.
I love it. This is peak Kaiwin. I love all that stuff, and yeah, it's actiony, but I'm okay, Adam, with action. It just also has to have story. It can't.
Well, this one had both.
It had both in spades. Yeah.
Yeah. The space battle we get in this episode is kind of quick. which probably worked to your advantage, Kevin, is you're not like, you don't want those to go on for too long. And this probably felt just right. I was like, oh, like, because the Breen kind of like end up dominating the battle very quickly. The Defiance destroyed. They're at the will of the Dominion. The Founder is just licking her lips, waiting to take over the entire Alpha Quadrant. What else is going on in this episode? Oh, there's a whole plot line with Ezri and Bashir.
And you have the Cardassians.
The Cardassian resistance. They destroy the cloning facility. The Wayun 9 might be the last Wayun because they can't make a new one. And
that's so great. He picked that on purpose.
Yeah, like there was a lot happens in this episode compared to the previous. I guess we're in part 4 now of this 9-part finale. Never done before or since.
The one thing, and we'll talk more when we get there, but is the one thing that surprised me actually was the actual lack of enthusiasm when they saw what's his name broadcast, the intention to resist. Who am I thinking? Yeah. Anyway, Jay, let's start. Because this is a good.
Okay, we'll get into it. Kevin, what does your shirt say?
My shirt says after school safety. It's an after school program in the States.
There you go. It's how far gone is she when she decides to still be in league with Dukat? Kai Wynn flirting with evil. Well, I can't do this. Okay, maybe. She finds out it is Dukat in this episode too. And, she's like, oh no, you're the worst. Oh, well, maybe I'm good with this because now we figured out how to open up the pod race and maybe I can have all that power I've always wanted. So that could work. Guys, let's talk about this episode. Oh, we could even, do the screenshots this way because we have a screen open tonight. Well, maybe we'll go big to start. Ezri and Worf return. I guess they came back in a Cardassian ship or something.
Yep.
Because there wasn't a runabout anymore. And they come back and they're greeted at the airlock by Julian and O'Brien. Big smiles. But Sisko's not here yet. Kira's not here. Others are not present as well. Worf has been gone for a while. Worf has been missing, and Ezri almost just as long. But we see here that they need to know all about the Breen attack because Sisko does eventually show up. Tell me about. She's like, I'm sorry, I stole the runabout, and I went to go get Worf, and he's like, never mind that. What's going on with this Breen stuff? And they're like, well, we don't really have a lot of answers. We just know that the Dominion's teamed up with the Breen. And
I like when she said, they were the ones asking the questions.
They were more interested in asking questions and giving us answers. So, and then there's kind of some flirty stuff here with Ezri and Julian in the beginning. I could do without it, honestly. Even Worf is giving the looks because Worf now has gone from wanting to, he was kind of in a thing with Ezri, but they've decided to be friends, and now he's more like a relationship advisor now to Ezri.
I love their new relationship. I do wish they had done this sooner and had more of this. Yeah. I love this episode for their banter in this episode is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't. When he's like, he plays with toys. He's a toy man. This is the guy you want. But then we get the call over the comm here in the opening teaser, guys. Earth has been attacked by the Breen. Dun dun dun. That's our setup, which was I think a pretty strong opener. There's because we got the crew back together, and the opening shot after the credits is the Golden Gate Bridge torn up here, San Francisco, Starfleet Academy, not looking too good. Not completely destroyed, but it's it's a rough day there on Earth in the 24th century. We get our title card as we see that we're just looking at this on the monitor from the Sisko and Martok perspective up here in the office. And Martok says, even we never tried to attack Starfleet Academy and Federation headquarters, like these Breen.
And I'm like, why? Why would you not try that? There's never any ships near Earth. Ever.
Right. Yeah. Like in Star Trek 5, where they're like, he's like, surely there's other ships. And he's like, not really. No. We're going to have to send you to do all this. But yeah, the Breen are kind of far away from Earth. Like it's kind of confusing to me because the Dominion is kind of centered on Cardassia, which is very close to Bajor. And it feels like this war should be more in the vicinity of, where Deep Space Nine is, which it's called Deep Space Nine because it's in deep space. It's not close to Earth. that's kind of the whole idea. So for the Breen to kind of turn around and attack Earth, I'm like, well, we know that they can get there. I think it's a week away or 2 weeks away, in a ship, so it's not the furthest place they can go, but it's not around the corner either. So the Breen have attacked, and so that's and
how do you instill fear and fear? You attack somebody at home, whether you lose a lot of people or whatever. It doesn't matter how intense it was. It was just they've done something else now. They've done something new. This is a new throwing down a new gauntlet, I guess is the word.
Well, exactly. And there's a new threat to this that they haven't felt yet. Of course, everyone watching the show is a human and lives on Earth, and is always going to connect to this moment, right? And then we see, like, on Cardassia, from the Dominion's perspective, we actually see the San Francisco Bay Area and see all these red targets, and like Weyoun's talking about how glorious this was. Now we told that the Breen were destroyed. Like it's not like they attacked and got away. They were like the Federation managed to, like Starfleet managed to catch up and eventually annihilate them. But before they did, it was a lot of damage. And so the Breen are here. They're going hard, and Weyoun is loving it. This is a great time for him. He's can't wait to tell the founder. We see here Damar not looking as drunk and as depressed. He's now, of course, they talked about in the fun facts in the last episode that they've changed his lighting and sort of how he looks in the makeup, and he looks more heroic now that he's become like this resistance fighter who's like pretending to work with the Dominion. And now going ahead. So, this whole thing, and I think he tells the Breen guy, he's like, yeah, when we started this war, they told us we were the best, the founders did, and the Dominion, and now you guys are the great ones. But after we win the war, you should probably not take too much comfort with them.
Never turn your back on Weyoun.
Yeah. Right. Well, the Romulans say never turn your back on a Breen, but I say, never turn your back on the Dominion either. Like, well, there's a lot of people you can't turn your back on. Anyway, so
there's one right there.
Yeah, coming up here, we have Cisco coming into his quarters after this, back on Deep Space Nine. Cassidy Yates trying to cook up his food, his grown produce, which is not replicated, and she's burning it all. Adam, how did you feel about what she was trying to do here?
Very nice of her, but I could deal with this scene as well.
Right. Well, the peppers, I couldn't help but go,
Peppers. Nobody touches my peppers. It took me 3 months to grow them.
3 months to grow them.
Why is everybody so bad at growing things in the future? Like, why do they all act like it's the hardest thing to do to put a seed in the ground and wait?
Because they have replicators in the future, I suppose. Cassidy tried to cook to cheer him up, but then succeeds the apron to him. And he doesn't want her going on any cargo runs in this war. And this becomes a conflict in the episode where he actually interferes with her, duty, because now that the Breen are apparently in the war is actually dangerous. I get that there was a sense in the war that like Cardassia and the Dominion were going to lose this war. Like they had kind of flipped it over sooner or later. That was going to happen. But now that the Breen have come into the conflict, now that's all in doubt, and now the war could shift back the other way. So then we see back on Cardassia, there's a scene with Damar and this new character we meet who's like a Cardassian gull or legate or something that they end up like talking about how they were happy when they first joined the Dominion. They thought they were going to be like the bosses of the Alpha Quadrant, and now they're conquered people in their own land. We also learned that 7 million Cardassians have died in this war.
Yeah,
right. That's a lot.
Well, 500,000 in one go, right?
Right, just like that. Martok took that out last week, and they're still going hard. They're kind of like become the the cannon fodder here of the Dominion in a lot of ways, right? Even though the Jem'Hadar are cloned and genetically engineered and sort of they're bred just to fight, but the Cardassians are still in this fight and not doing super well. And so they're mostly talking about the resistance. They're forming this Cardassian resistance movement to go against the Dominion, so that we'll kind of interweave with that plot line. And then we're also on Bajor in this episode. We're going everywhere. On Bajor, we're dealing with Kai Wynn, who's she's studying the texts and this Ranjin guy. What's his character's name?
Sobar or
Sobar,
like
yeah, Solbor. It's
Solbar.
played by James Otis. What's that?
I love all this stuff. Kai Wynn is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. Well, this guy is just so unimpressed with her. He's like, really? And then like Ducat shows up. He's like, hey, Solbor, I'll have my breakfast on the patio. Let's get going here. And he's just supposed to be just a civilian, just like a nobody.
Oh yeah, that's great. When he walks in and just starts barking commands, he's
very comfortable. He's very comfortable.
Ducat loves being in his palace now. He's like, it's like he's the king of Bajor, right? It's like he married the queen, and he's right in there now. And this is before they even know he's Ducat. They still just think he's this Bajoran guy who's super confident. That's all they think about this guy right now. They don't even know he's Ducat at all. We know he's Ducat, but and that's what's kind of like so fun. Some of these scenes, Mark Alimo is just chewing it up, and they do work well with each other. They'd never really had any scenes coming into this, and it's coming else. I just want to also comment on this particular image we have up here in this scene here with Ducat and Wynn. This backdrop that's supposed to be Bajor is clearly just like a faded looking painting or something, a matte painting that's not quite holding up in the special effects department 25 years later, but that's a minor grievance. Adam, how are these scenes? How's this plot line for you working? This
has got better for me. Especially this episode here. I think that he has manipulated her so well, and she's just falling into the palm of his hand. Like everything he wants her to do is just happening. You can just see.
Yeah. Right. And she's like, when am I going to get my power? When am I, you told me. And he's like, don't worry about it. It's happening, and we have to get into the fire caves, let out the paw race. And she's kind of hesitant about all that. But he's like, don't worry. We're going to destroy Bajor, but there'll be a new Bajor.
This is like pretty major. Like, as he's describing this, I'm going, what do you mean destroy Bajor? It's going to be gone. It sounds like it.
Most of it. It sounds
except the chosen ones, Dave. Except the chosen ones.
Like this is like literally like what they're doing here is hell, and the devil and the demons are going to be released from hell, and it will be hell on not on Earth but on Bajor, and that's what
I loved here. I loved here when she says, "But what about the prophecies?" And he just goes, "What about them?" Like.
What?
Like,
yeah.
Why would you believe that? You're with the paw race now, but he's
right.
Just like,
that's their side's propaganda, and from his point of view, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's just what the prophets say, but you don't have there's the Coast of Mojin's got to have which is like the devil's Bible is going to have it all, right? Yeah, it's like the apocalypse. They're bringing down the apocalypse and a new era. Okay, the next scene is up at Quark's, where we first see this is the first time we see this, I guess, in the show, is this model of the Alamo, because it's like their holodeck program. Is this historically accurate? I don't know.
I was there a year ago. Yeah, but actually, according to the design there, for sure, it's just what's left now is not much like that. But
right. So
I'm just astounded by this fascination of the Alamo. This is. I'm sure it ties into some battle.
It's like a hopeless battle, a battle you can't win, right? So it's because it was like a couple hundred against a few thousand, and that's the whole idea here. So we're told that they're always in the holodeck simulation, but this is them actually trying to figure it out, not in the holodeck, but actually out in the practical world. Even though they could do this in a holosuite, but they like doing it in the bar, which I actually kind of like, versus like them doing this at VIX, which I could see them doing.
This is better.
This is better.
Well, they've sort of brought their geekiness out onto for everybody to see.
Yeah.
Quark shows up.
This is funny. Their start time. Well, if you just made the wall complete, or move the cannons here, we would have won.
Do this, do that, and they're like, well, it's not the Battle of the Alamo anymore, and Bashir doesn't care. He just wants to win.
And then Miles O'Brien goes, then be Santa Ana.
He always wins.
Yeah.
Right. They get really upset with Quark for almost putting a drink on it. They're saying, he says, "What's wrong with you? Like, Earth's been attacked," and they're like, "I don't know. We've been working hard trying to get ready for the Breen attack, but this is us being distracted. This is just something for us to put our minds on when it's a war, and we can't be worrying about it." He likes his toys. That's right, Dorwin.
He doesn't O'Brien have a family here, or are they on the planet?
Well, they're with Sabar.
Unclear.
Is that? Do I still have it?
She's got an awfully nice bum.
That's the wrong one.
He worked 14 hours on the day, and now he's doing this.
Hold on. Sorry about that. I had to figure out which one it was.
Go back to Bajor and your plants and Sabar. See if I care.
Anyway, and then we go to the upper level of Quarks in the next portion here, where Ezri and Worf are talking, and Worf's just like, "Really, this is the guy, Bashir?" But his friend O'Brien is also playing with this toy, but he's forgiving. He's not criticizing O'Brien. He's just like, "No, Bashir sucks." Specifically,
he is a child.
He is a child. He plays with toys.
He is a child. He gets excited playing with toys.
The way he says that, playing with toys. And Ezri's like, it's not a model.
That's what happens when you share your toys.
It's not a toy. It's a model built to scale.
It's a model built to scale. So just remember that. So yeah, he says it's pointless too, because he even gets into like the battle theory part of it. He's like, they can't win the battle of the Alamo. He's like, she's like, "Do you want to go down there and play with the toys?" He's like, "No, I don't." That would not be, a lot of exchanges here.
Yeah, I like this. I found their, like I said, I wish they had done this earlier so we could have had more of maybe Worf teasing her about Bashir and stuff. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But you know what? Coming back to I think that Worf would have actually enjoyed seeing a battle laid out like that.
Yeah, you think he would like get into that, and he's not.
I think that's the whole thing. He probably is, and he's just holding back and cutting up Bashir anyway.
Yeah,
right. But it's kind of nice here that you have Dax and Worf, like even though it's a different Dax, it's Dax and Worf talking again in the show, which for most of the 7 seasons they're not doing really, right? Yeah. So I feel like for me, like that's a big dynamic that's missing until this. It feels like they're not like the married Dax that they were with Jadzia, but at least you have that dynamic back a little bit, which is nice. So back on Cardassia, Damar is like doing his secret maneuvers. We see here like Wayun's the boss who shows up behind him at work, seeing what he's doing on his monitor, and then he changes like the screen to, "Oh, I'm looking at the battle things with the Breen," or whatever. Wayun eventually figures out that Damar has got his confidence back. And
look at you've got something.
Yeah. Well, that and Damar isn't drinking anymore. He's stopped drinking. He's more focused here. Mott's calling me.
And Wayun thinks it's because now Damar is like, yes, the Dominion. we're back.
Yeah, you're just glad that we're winning the war again, aren't you? He's like, that is totally what I'm about here. It's going so well. We're a big happy family, and so Damar is playing Wayun here, and it's working beautifully, I guess. Back on Bajor, we got Soulbor here, who shows up with the evil book, the Coast Emojin, it's called. Why do you want this evil book, Eminence? Don't worry about it, she says. Just give me the book. He's like, it's pretty evil. This is a pretty evil book. No one's looked at this book in 700 years. And she's like, are you going to give me the book or not? And then eventually Ducat gets in there. He's like, give me she said, give him the book. Give her the book. And he gets up, and Solber is actually trying. I guess he's one of the unsung heroes of Deep Space Nine. He actually tries to stand up to this evil plot, but he's just too low ranking. He can't do anything about it here. So he gets ordered out of the room by both of them. And I think in this scene he's like, "Who is this guy? Why are you looking at this stuff now? This is sketch. This is totally sketch." But she doesn't want to hear it. She's already converted to the Pa Wraith, and she's all about the Pa Wraiths now. So eventually they kind of get Sober to leave the book. He gives a snooty look and he leaves. I don't know when exactly he takes the DNA sample from Dukat. Is it when Dukat beats him up later on in the episode?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So she, Dukat's there. Let's open up the evil book, which they have a lock and key for, by the way. And we find out it's a book of nothing. There's no pages filled in.
Yeah, I liked this. I liked both of their reactions. Like, she was still a believer. She was still like patient and studious, and he was just impatient. He's like, he brought the wrong book. He
brought the wrong book. Yeah. But she's like, no, he doesn't make those kinds of mistakes.
The words are here. Just be patient. We can find them.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out. We just have to. They have to reveal it themselves to us, she says. And then in the next scene, we go back to Cisco on Deep Space Nine talking to Odo with the security protocols if there's a Breen attack. Just then Cassidy Yates shows up to say, "Hey, Ben, I've been pulled off freighter duty. What the hell?" Odo excuses himself, and they use Odo's office to have this conversation where Cisco's like, "Yeah, I may have pulled a favor," and she doesn't like it. She doesn't want to be getting special treatment, him interfering with her job, and he's like, "Come on, it's like dangerous times." She's like, "I can talk to Admiral Ross and say, can you please not send you on any dangerous missions?" And you won't like that too much, right? Meanwhile, Odo's observing this from outside on the promenade, which is funny. But then Quark shows up to say, marriage changes everything. That could be you and Kira one day fighting in your office. Your relationship will go from nice lovey-dovey to just bickering. Because I guess that's what Quark thinks marriage is. I think obviously just to mess with Odo.
Yeah.
Maybe Quark generally believes it. Then we go back to Bajor and Kaiwin. Still looking at this empty book. I guess other books she's trying to use to figure it out. Solbor's bringing her more and more books. And he's still unhappy with this whole... what's Dukat's name? Angel or something. Like the tension's building between these two in the various scenes. I think this is where Dukat's
here when she's like, "Why are you still here?"
Yeah, she's like, "Get out!" Like, what did she think? He's like, "Where do you want me to go?" Yeah. Oh, the one thing I love the thing he says like to her in this episode.
I am but a moon made warm by the light of your sun.
I am but a moon made light here on Eclipse Day. How fitting. And then she goes back to studying for the Coast Emotion. Back to Deep Space Nine, where Ben makes up with Cassidy Yates here with some flowers. Also, apparently ordered Quark was bringing champagne or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but another gift, a bracelet maybe. Anyway, so they've she's back on freighter duty, and all is right here between Ben and Cassidy. The newlyweds are doing okay. Just then, Bill Ross does show up, and he's like, the Breen are attacking the Shintaka system. There's a battle in Shintaka, and we got to go. You're going to, he's like, when do I leave? And Cassidy just looks like she knows he could die in the next. He's going into battle, and we see the USS Defiant.
I actually laughed there when Ben was like, when do I leave? It would have been funny if Ross had been like, well, actually, I've been talking to Cassidy, and we're going to keep you back on this one.
They missed an opportunity for that. Yeah. But no, it was like, dun, dun, dun. The music gets very serious. And then the Defiant getting ready for what will end up being its final voyage. As it's, Nog's basically pacing around the bridge. getting tense about the battle, feeling like this could be their time. Eventually, Bashir and O'Brien show up arguing about stuff because I think Julian lost the little part of the model.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
You know, and my favorite part here was O'Brien when he's just they're like, it's nothing.
I wouldn't call it nothing.
I wouldn't call it nothing. You lost that little thing, the little toy. Kira
why
says-
It's like
is
he's
Bashir-
it's
sorry.
it's
why is
like
Bashir
he's
going
never.
on
Oh, sorry, Adam. Go ahead.
this- My question is, why is Bashir going? Is it because they need a medical officer?
Yeah, they need a medical officer. It makes sense to bring a doctor, I think. But he should be in sick bay, not on the bridge, probably. But
Right. Is there a sick bay on this ship?
yeah, small one.
Yeah. Small.
Yeah. And so but they're breaking the tension here. Kira at the helm, which I thought was interesting for the episode.
That's what happens when you share your toys.
It's not a toy.
It's not a toy. It's a model built to scale.
And of course, Worf. Here we go.
He gets excited playing with toys.
What do you think about this, Esri? Esri was on communications, apparently, we're told. Here, that's her role on the battle. And then Cisco shows up, and it is on. Let's go. And we see the Defiant pull out here, goes around the station, and off they are to the battle. Then we go back to Kai Wynn, who's sleeping in her chair in her office on Bajor. Solbor shows up to take away the evil book and to clean up. But just then he runs into Dukat as the Bajoran guy in the hallway, saying she's sleeping and she's done with the books. And Solbor's like, he tells Solbor, put them back. And he goes, no, you don't talk to me like that. And then Dukat just beats the hell out of him, like punches him. Like, this guy goes down hard.
It's like, I've had enough of your insolence.
yeah he just like holds him up. Like Dukat just like has no problem like throwing this guy around the room. We even sees he's coming in. It's like, oh, I almost like pulled something, like beating the crap out of that guy. And then he shows up here, wakes up Kai Wynn, and they're gonna get back to doing evil book stuff. Then we go to Cardassia, and then on Cardassia it's another scene with Damar and this guy, the Cardassian Legate guy, his resistance guy. You can see he's pouring himself a lot of Kanar, and Damar says, no more Kanar for you. We gotta stay. We gotta stay
for
sober.
anybody.
No more for any Cardassians. But then they say, like, a lot of Cardassians are going to die in this attack that they're going to wage on the Dominion and kind of start this Cardassian resistance. And but at least they'll be dying for Cardassia, not for somebody else, which the other Cardassian agrees with Damar. So that's brewing. Then we see the Wayun's flagship here with the Founder. They're headed towards the battle. The Founder says, the more the merrier. She's so excited for the brain to destroy whatever enemy fleet's going to be at Shintaka, and they're coming at this battle hard. We see we got the Federation, the Klingons, and the Romulans all set to go into this fight to defend the system they already hold at this point. But there's just this tension going into the battle that this is a different battle. This feels like a different battle because we got the Breen involved now. And it gets kicking off here but almost right away. The Defiant gets a few shots off, and they actually managed to destroy a couple Breen ships
right away too. Like
right away, yeah. So it's looking okay initially. There's kind of like this bait and switch here, but as they're coming into the fight, the Breen finally launched what ends up being this energy dissipator weapon, which ends up being pretty significant, and hits the Defiant and like makes it all electrical or whatever. And apparently, like all the ships in the fleet basically get destroyed in this battle, not just the Defiant. There's nothing they can do. They lose power. They can't do anything. Basically, they still have life support, but that's basically it. O'Brien can't manage to do anything with the system. It's like a full system failure, and then the Breen just start hammering the ship after that. And
I like how quickly the Defiant is destroyed. Like it's normally for a ship like this, they would draw it out, right? Like it'd be a long battle, but no, it's like, oh no, this one shot, and then they're just getting pounded until they decide to leave.
Right. Kira goes down at the helm.
Wait. Kira is not the first to go down at all. There's a bunch of them go down.
A few of them, someone in the back, but it was mostly like extras. Like no one, no hero characters go.
Well, I mean,
here.
Julian waits until the major cast member goes.
Yeah,
down.
yeah. She like somebody goes down to the back, but he's like, do I want to commit to that, or something else could happen here?
Somebody important might go down.
Somebody else, and Kira goes down here.
I'm the chief medical officer. I do not fix ensigns.
Right.
I have a staff for that.
I suppose he does. But Cisco eventually has to give the order to abandon ship here. And they all look around. We can't believe it, and the Defiant is getting destroyed here. Cisco has to look once more time around the bridge. Can't believe his ship that we've had since season 3, right? Beginning of season 3, this ship was introduced.
Yeah.
It finally goes out here. He looks at the bridge. She was a fine ship. Orion says you can't argue with that.
Tough little ship, Dave. Tough little ship.
Tough little ship. But the escape pods are out here, and we see that the Romulan warbirds, all the Klingon ships, the entire fleet has been decimated. As we zoom out here on the Defiant, some really good action, and we see it get just destroyed for good here as the final shots are fired by the Dominion. Looking here, Weyoun and all them and the founder, they're very pleased with the results. Now we know that only Weyoun and the Jemadar guy, the first with those little visors, can see. So the founder can't see anything. She's just basically whatever they're telling her is basically going out here, and she's just like stoic. Yes, let's wipe them all out there. Now they were going to destroy all the escape pods where Weyoun's instinct was, but the founder says no. I want them all to go back to the Federation scared. Does this move make sense? Or was she doing this for Odo's benefit because Kira was in those escape pods?
No, I don't think so. I don't think she does that for Odo.
Okay. No, I think it's classic tactic. I mean, it was she called it out. We're gonna go let them go back and tell them how scared they were and see what happened.
My favorite thing here, though, is how in the last few episodes, how dismissive she is of Weyoun about everything. Like whenever he's like, you're so wise. She's like, yeah, whatever. Like,
she has no time for his. I don't know if she normally would or not.
When she first comes in, she has a lot more patience. I think because she's sick, right? And
she's dying, and she, but she's still hell bent on this mission to conquer the galaxy. You know, even though she may not live to actually, rule it, which is kind of the weird part about it for me.
I think also she's probably feeling the effects of not having any other changelings around.
Right.
Having to be with solids all the time.
Yeah, not having the link. It's driving her a little mad, perhaps. Yeah. Back to Bajor in the next scene where Dukat and Kai Wynn are waking up here. And then Solbor shows up and he goes, don't you see this evil man who showed up one day? Don't you get who
Don't
it
you
is?
see the face of evil?
Don't you see the face of evil? Of course I had.
I had a sample of his DNA
the
sequenced.
face of your enemy.
He's not even a Bajor. He's a Cardassian. Look at him. Don't you recognize the face of your enemy? It's Gul Dukat. Oh, it can't be.
It can't be. Well, okay, but did you guys really need a DNA test to know this was Gul Dukat?
Apparently they did.
Apparently, I'm a little come on, it's. I think you can still tell who people are.
Yeah, he was the leader of the occupation. The voice
He's
would
kind
give
of
him away
famous.
to every Bajoran.
He's not like an anonymous Cardassian. He's like one of the most famous people on Bajor. Infamous actually, right? And so it's something else. And then Kai Wynn's really having doubts about this path she's down here. That he starts mentioning the Pa race, and Solbor kind of puts it together. He puts the pieces together here, and he's like, "That's what you wanted these books for. You want to release the fire caves." And then Kai Wynn shanks him in the back.
Now, I love that she does this without the influence of Dukat. She does this,
because he was going to blow the lid off this whole thing, and she's like, "No, I won't lose power." And Solbor,
she is now a true villain to me.
Oh yeah, She's fully crossed over. She kind of did in the last episode, but now she really has.
Right? You crossed over and you're a loyal servant, the person who's been there forever, and
Yeah.
Incredible.
Like she doesn't like try to knock him out, tie him up, convince him to join her, or what. And no, she's like, no.
And only in the pursuit of her own power. That's it. There's no other
and keeping that power. That's the only thing she cares about, right? Like she kind of theoretically cared about the prophets and all that before, but it was always secondary to her own ambition, and that's always been her defining trait, right? And we see here but then she's going to destroy the book, but then the blood comes off the knife from Sobor, and this sacrifice somehow ignites the spell of this power.
This is good, actually, how this all came about. I believable is completely believable, but I like this. I like the blood igniting the book, and then the story being there. It's good.
Yeah, very demonic, very biblical.
I also love when like she's saying, I need to destroy this book. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore, basically. But then the power is revealed, and she's like, oh, no, I'm in.
Basically, yeah, more or less. Yeah. Ducat's
honestly, this is the most she's ever seen of something like, metaphysical, something more than just her belief. Like,
if the prophets had just talked to her, I think like she could have been,
exactly.
But, they're not going to do that, apparently. So now we have to go into their evil secrets, Eminence, and she's totally in for this. So we'll catch up with them. I think that's their last scene in this episode. Somehow, I guess those escape pods and everyone made it back to DS9. Not too worse for wear. You think they at least would have been taken prisoners of war? No, they just got out of there. So because I guess that's what the founder said. Let them escape. So Bill Ross says, "I'll get you a new ship, Ben. It might take me a minute, but I'll get you a new ship." Because the station's always been more important than the Defiant itself. But then Damar shows up on I guess on cable news or whatever he is on here. He's broadcasting on subspace. Everyone's watching. He's like, guess what, Cardassia, we don't like the Dominion anymore. This sucks. And then 7 million Cardassians have died, and the Dominion have conquered us, and this Breen stuff sucks. Yada yada.
It's a really good speech. It's a really great speech.
It is a good speech. I have some of it here. Yeah, like I have like the tail end of it here.
I call upon Cardassians everywhere. Resist. Resist today. Resist tomorrow. Resist till the last Dominion soldier has been driven from our soil.
Yeah.
We shall fight them on the beach.
It's kind of Churchill, eh? We see here that the Weyoun and the founder, and they're all watching it. There's even Cardassians in the room with.
Yes. You don't think they'd be taken into custody right away?
Yeah, right. Because but that's the thing is Cardassia still is officially in the Dominion, and but Damar is now has a rogue faction, like a rogue government, and he's going off and doing his own thing. And so the founder's just kill them all, find the traitors and destroy them. Basically Weyoun tasks his Breen friend here, whatever his name is, Thought Clone or whatever, the general, with doing it. Kira then on Deep Space Nine confirms to Bill Ross and Cisco, yes, we did. It happened. The Rondek 4 cloning facility of the Vorta has been destroyed, and the Damar is fighting against the Dominion, and just then they say, well, then we got to help Damar any way we can, and that's going to be basically the story here, guys. So I don't know, pretty good. Resist today, resist tomorrow, resist. Thought Gore. Yes, that's right. Viva la Resistance. So I think this is a pretty good installment. Was Destroying the Defiant worth it for you guys?
Yeah. I don't have the same attachment to the ships as you do.
How about you, Adam? Are you sad to see the Defiant go on a scale 1 to 10? How sad are you?
We'll talk about it in fun facts, but I think it's a monumental moment for them to take that go that far on this in this show to destroy that ship, because it means something to a lot of people, including you, Dave, clearly. So, it's a great ship. It was one Cisco designed himself, and it goes out here a little
too easily, although Kevin says that's one thing he really liked about it, so maybe I'm the crazy one. I don't know. But, it's to me, like, I'd rather the ship have survived the series. I would like to go out this way. But
let me talk about what's on. Where are we here? This is.
You want to get into your fun facts?
Yeah, Memory Alpha here. But the episode marks the destruction of the USS Defiant. The decision to destroy the Defiant was not one taken lightly, as Bear explains. The ship had become a character. Oh, that's interesting. That had caught on people's hearts and minds. The producers, however, felt that something was needed to give the Breen an impactful introduction. It was agreed that if nothing could achieve this quite as well as the destruction of the Defiant. As Bear said, we wanted to kill the Defiant just as a statement of how tough the Breen were. We thought we would rock the characters and the audiences as well. I don't think it rocked the characters. I didn't find that at all. Like I thought they just brushed it off. It's another ship gone.
Norman saying it was powerful, and by now it was a Trekkian to see a main ship be destroyed. We already saw the station way back in Visionary. Well, yeah, but that was undone. Like it's like if I could just interject here, Adam, for a second. Yeah, like that was like when they destroyed the Enterprise and cause and effect over and over again. Like it came back to life at the end. It wasn't destroyed forever.
No, but when you think of number 7, what's number 7? Generations, when they destroyed the Enterprise.
I hated that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like it was sad, and I was so glad when they brought it back in Star Trek Picard. I was like even if it was just the saucer section that they salvaged, it was something, because that the ship is almost like a character in itself, and to kill it, for me is like, man, like if you're gonna kill a character, it's like really got to be worth it. And I guess it does make the stakes of this war feel really detrimental, and it kind of works, but I still hate it. That's how I feel.
Kevin?
I don't know. I don't really understand when people say that the things are characters in the show. They're not. They're things in the show. So
everybody lived. The ship died. We're good.
Yeah. No one dies except the ship. And I'm like, no, the ship.
And obviously, though, I'm the weird one because everybody says that, and everybody thinks that except for me.
I really did like when the Enterprise crashed and when they stopped and everything went forward. It was it was a good crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, I like when they destroyed the original Enterprise in Star Trek 3. Like that's like maybe one exception where I was like, that was worth it. That was worth blowing up a ship in that way for a huge sacrifice to defeat the bad guy or something like that.
And you got a cool Klingon bird of prey too, like
right. And they swap ships, and I almost wish they had destroyed the Enterprise E in Nemesis. Like that would have made that more impactful, that movie. Like, but instead they're like, no, we're gonna. But apparently it gets destroyed later on, so and we didn't even see it.
Okay.
Sorry, Adam.
All right, so Stephen Bear was a big fan of how this show mixes the larger war stories with the trivial domestic stories. We like the idea of showing a domestic life. In this episode, in the midst of all the pressure, it shows that Sisko is under, he has a lot of pressure he's under, and he still has issues at home. He's still a human being. Cassie burns his peppers. That hurts. This is what I don't care about. Life is hard, but you shouldn't have your peppers burned, according to Stephen Bear.
Peppers.
Yeah. On the ongoing Kai Wynn and Ducat plot in this episode, Bear comments, she experiences self-loathing and loss, and you wonder, okay, does she get it now? No, she does not. As soon as Ducat explains to her that she can cover up the murder, it's clear that's the only thing she's worried about. But when the smoke clears, she's less tainted than Ducat. Ducat is still the master, the manipulator, the liar, and they are quite a team. Yep, I agree. Actually, I'm very curious right now where this is going with those two. Like, what's going to happen? Now I'm excited.
With which two?
Ducat and Kai Wynn.
They're trying to release the power race to destroy
I know.
the universe.
Is this going to happen? I'm waiting to find out now.
You're going to see.
I know. I got to stay on the cadence. It's like every Sunday I watch these. I can't break. Okay. In keeping with the redefinition of the character Damar that was taking place, the character Gul Rasat was created specifically to help sell the idea that Damar could handle the volatile situation he was getting himself into. as Bear explains, we needed someone who would highlight Damar's strength by putting Damar in a position where we'd have to hold this tiger by the tail and keep him in line. And I believe that. I think that this character is completely changed in 2 episodes.
Damar, yeah, he's a flip. He goes from bad guy to good guy, like, or anti-hero, whatever how you want to classify.
But weak as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I do like the introduction of the Gull Rousset character. I think he's a good pairing here for Damar, because he feels like, like another scummy Cardassian who would totally be happy to conquer the galaxy if it was good for Cardassia, but because it's not good for Cardassia anymore now, it just sells this idea, because like the Cardassians are not turning here on the Dominion because they're like, oh, we don't like how the Dominion does things. They would love to do it the way the Dominion does things. They just don't like that they're not in charge, right? So they're still bad, right? but they're now allies. Like, they're now just natural allies throughout the forced into this war. Strange bedfellows.
Strange bedfellows, yeah, exactly. Just thinking, if you got any more, Dave, other than that, I'm pretty good for tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just before we get into our final,
I have a question. Do you guys know how many times San Francisco's been destroyed in the whole Star Trek?
Well,
world?
this seems like the worst one of all of them, I would say. It's definitely been, I think that this would be the more significant attack, it looked like, of all the ones, because like the one with the whale probe, I don't know, that it seemed like everyone made it through, like, out of that one more.
Picard, they lost a building with people in it.
Picard, there was that one in like
Worlds too, right?
In Star Trek Into Darkness, they blow up that place in London, right? But that's
but no, Strange New Worlds though, that big giant ship crashed into the city.
Strange New Worlds?
Not Strange New Worlds, no. Into Darkness.
Into Darkness, but that's another universe.
True.
Right. So Davan's saying Star Trek 3 kind of sucked. Why would you say Star Trek 3 kind of sucked?
Because it does.
It doesn't. It's good.
You know what?
It kind of sucks.
I thought it sucked back whenever it came out, like 30, 40 years ago. I like it now. I
watched it about 3 weeks ago. It still sucks.
Really?
I like it.
I like it more than I ever did before.
I'm with you, Adam. Like, it's a good one. It's like, maybe I'll give Gary 7 a shot now.
Take some time, Dave. You gotta cross your 40s.
So therefore, I'd argue the story was far more worthy of destroying a ship for. I guess so.
It's a little ship.
Which is worse? Star Trek 1 is way worse than Star Trek 3.
Like, yes,
it's not even close.
It's not even
close.
Yeah,
it's
I will never watch the first one again. Ever.
Yeah, it's unwatchable. It's so unwatchable. It's so bad. Okay. Well, guys, we must digress. We must get into the episode here ratings, as we say, and put a score on this. Davan has already given us a 9 out of 10 to start this off. Yes. So, boom, bring it up. Okay, I will go in. I liked this a little more, although I'm sad they destroyed the Defiant, but I get it. I'm more okay with them destroying the Defiant than killing Jadzia. So.
Yes, because Jadzia is a character.
Correct.
And a ship is a thing.
Right. So I got my priorities right.
Person, object.
But, has a name. You call her a she. So I'm going to go, I'll give this an 8. That's good. To Adam.
Yeah, this is the most excited I've been about Deep Space Nine this whole season. So I'm giving this a 10. I can't wait for next week.
Okay, 10. Kevin.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold back either. 10.
10. Wow. Okay. Now, someone said here that they were missing Jaemeel. He said no. They said no Puffy Taco, no bye. They're not sticking around with Jaemeel. Sorry, I'd love to have Jaemeel here, but can't often make this time. Oh, Davan says he's changed his mind. He's giving this a 10.
Perfect. Good man.
Good man.
Come on, Dave. Peer pressure.
I'm leaving it at an 8. It's okay. It doesn't it's pretty good.
Killed the Defiant off, Kevin.
They killed the Defiant. I'm supposed to be happy?
They killed the Defiant.
I'm supposed to be pleased about this? No. Oh, it's I can't go with that there. Hashtag where's Jeff? I'm not sure about that one. Where's Jody? Jody's up north in Sudbury, I believe. He has his own business. And Davan's
He's in the comments.
Davin's lurking. He's lurking.
Davin's lurking. Jameel's out in the world somewhere. Okay. Anyway, so for this episode tonight, guys, this is averaging a 9.5 for us. Pretty good. I think maybe our best score this season. Maybe. Looks like this is our top episode so far. Only surpassing. It's only a Paper Moon by 0.2%. So anyway, let's look ahead to the next episode. It is called When It Rains. And in this one, I guess the Dominion has deployed a new weapon that can disable starships, and only the Klingons have been made resistant to it. That's right. So we find out that it's now up to the Klingons to fight the Breen by themselves, and the Romulans and the Starfleet have to pull back here. So that leads to a whole thing here. We get more Kai Wynn, of course, and Ducat doing more evil stuff with the Pa race. And then we'll also get the start of like finding out that Odo has been infected with this disease as well. And that plot line will start to go. And we'll get more with Damar and the Resistance in the next episode too. So
is Cassidy gone on her voyage, I hope?
Cassidy, I don't think is she in this next episode? I don't think she's even in it. Yeah, she's not doesn't look she appears in the next episode at all.
Use a break from her.
Oh, and Gowron is going to show up in this next
episode. Oh
yes.
Man.
What? No, that's not it. It's So get ready for some Robert O'Reilly. He's showing up. Man, is this the one where they? Yeah. And Garrick, we get some more Garrick coming into this because Garrick, with this whole Cardassian resistance, Garrick is going to become very important in the end game here. Adam.
Okay. So, don't tell me anymore.
I won't. All right. So if you didn't know, we got 5 more episodes of the show to review, including the one we just mentioned. Also, we're on Thursdays. We are doing new episodes of Star Trek Discovery season 5, who's just got their first 2 episodes out. We got episode 3 coming up this Thursday. It's called Janal. I believe they're going to Trill in this next episode. So check that out. Adam, will you be with us for that?
Yeah, I will be.
Look out for that. I think Davan has a few different podcasts set up in the next couple of days. He is doing a Locutors of Trek like interview with Jenny R. Johnson. Also, we have that's going to be on April 11th at 8 p.m. And we also have a Debate 9 coming up here, Isolinear Chips Shoulders, April 19th. That will be taking place at 8 p.m. Look out for that.
I'm on that one.
And last night, it was mentioned, we had our Star Trek Radio Theater. Adam was Worf, who thought he was the captain. It was really funny, actually. I enjoyed it. Kevin was doing Dr. Crusher, who was in her quarters with her candles. And I don't even know what I figured out later that I was like, what voice was I doing?
It was like a cross between Elmo and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I think I was like, I played in Star Trek Online during the holiday season. There's like these gingerbread characters that come to life in the Q's Winter Wonderland, and they have to fight the evil snowmen who hate sugar or something like that. Anyway, so that's how these gingerbread men talk. They go, "Hi, we have to protect ourselves from the evil snowman," and that's kind of what I was doing last night.
Kind of sound like Mr. Hanky.
Yeah, a little hanky. Yeah, you could the spirit of all of those things was running through it. So check out all that. Of course, the United Federation of Podcasts, all kinds of great different podcasts coming out, like the Graphic Histories podcast, X-Rated, which is like the X-Men, the animated review show where they do X-Men 97 right now. We got Hold Up. We're doing movie reviews, David and Murphy, the Super Mater Brothers podcast, where we're covering right now Survivor, season 46, if you can believe it, going into the merge. Eamon, my son, doing music reviews called Eamon on Track, and the Hellbound podcast. Michael Chan, talk about horror with Alex Blackburn. And the newcomers, Stephen Waters and Jason Phillips. We had Stephen on the Radio Theater with us last night. He was
good. He
was good. Yeah. And with all that, guys, I think we'll leave you with a sound clip here. let's go out with this. Wayun telling us about those Breen.
You know those refrigeration suits they wear.
What about them?
I'm sure you've read the intelligence reports that say that their home world is a frozen wasteland. Well, it's not. The climate on their home planet is quite comfortable.
Then why do they wear refrigeration suits?
They won't say. You see what I mean? They're full of surprises.
See you next time, everybody.
Now let's get out of here.